By the way, Knight is here to stay, right? That whole thing was more about getting him playing time down there and fine tuning him a little bit more, so he's in a little bit more of a groove since he doesn't play nearly as much up here.
Yeah, well, he's back in Charlotte. He started there last night. He actually kind of got lit up a little bit last night. But remember, he had traveled the day before. He played in the NHL the day before that. I think right now the goal with Spencer Knight is, as you just said, get him playing time, get him back into kind of a routine of getting those, not just practicing every other day or practicing every day, but getting shots, game situations. Guy?
Like he's going to be back to be the permanent backup there.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Like you can tell just the way they brought him back. When they brought him last week for the back-to-back, I that's what I did ask Andrew Burnett today. If the plan was to bring Knight back, because they have another back-to-back next week, I believe it's Thursday, Friday, Vegas and Anaheim. And I asked him specifically if you're thinking of bringing him back for that back-to-back, and he didn't. He's like, oh, I don't know the total plan yet, but he kind of gave you the yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be what the case is. It's just the roster situation right now is so tight. And Spencer Knight is one of only a few players on the team that don't have to pass through waivers to go to the minors. So they're taking advantage of that, and they're doing it in a way that they're getting this kid a lot of ice time, which, I mean, look, how great did he play the other night in Buffalo when he'd been in the AHL for a month? So I think, when the playoffs start, he is absolutely the guy that's going to be, if nothing else, the backup. I mean, it's still, I think, a little TBD in terms of which guy they should roll with when the playoffs get here. Hopefully we'll get to see Knight at least, a handful of starts between the trade deadline when rosters expand and the playoffs start, just so you can kind of see, unless they're really, really comfortable with rolling into the playoffs with Sergei Bobrovsky, I would hope that they're going to get a good look at Spencer Knight over the course of the last month or so of the season, so they can just kind of lock into their one goalie for the playoffs. Because what happened last year, in the first round, where you start 3 guys in the 6-game span, it can't happen again. They got to find one guy and just roll with him.
I think you already answered that question, because I'm asking out of pure ignorance, because I don't know all the rules. I know in baseball you only have a certain amount of times you can call up or bring down a minor leaguer. How is that in hockey? And you said something, he doesn't have to clear waivers. So does that mean they have a free-for-all? They can send them up and down as many times as they want? Or is there a limit in the season?
To the best of my knowledge, there's no limit for a guy that's waivers exempt. I will have to double check on that. I haven't read anything. I haven't heard anything. I don't remember anything about the young guys that get moved up and back. There may be not many situations where a guy would be moved enough times where you start to think about that kind of thing, where there is a limit. But no, I think at this point, I would only expect it to happen maybe 2 times at the most between that. Because remember, the trade deadline is 2 Mondays from now, the 21st. After that, as long as you're under the cap, you can have as many guys as you want on the roster. Okay. That's when he'll be back, probably for good. I would imagine, because while it's been ideal for them to get him some playing time in Charlotte, once the trade deadline's over, you're kind of on the home stretch between then and the playoffs, and you want to get everybody locked in as well as they can. But yeah, I don't think that there's any limitations to how many times they can do it. It's just a matter of guys that are eligible to not pass through waivers, and you don't have to risk losing them.
Follow him on Twitter.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.